They went along, not arm in arm, or hand in hand, or interchanging bright glances, but she in tears, he gloomy and down looking. Were these the hearts that had so lately made old Toby's leap up from its faintness? No, no. The elder man, a blessing on his head, had put them down. As you happen to be here, said the elder man to Toby, you shall carry a letter for me. Can you be quick? You are an old man. Toby, who had been looking after Meg quite stupidly, made shift to murmur out that he was very quick and very strong. How old are you? Inquired the elder man. I am over 60, sir, said Toby. Oh, this man's a great deal past the average age, you know, cried Mr. Filer, breaking in as if his patience would bear some trying. But this really was carrying matters a little too far. I feel I am intruding, sir, said Toby. I misdoubted it this morning. Oh, dear me. The elder man cut him short by giving him the letter from his pocket. Toby would have got a shilling too, but Mr. Filer clearly showing that in that case he would rob a certain given number of persons of 9 pence halfpenny apiece. He only got 6 pence and thought himself very well off to get that. Then the elder man gave an arm to each of his friends and walked off in high feather. But he immediately came hurrying back alone, as if he had forgotten something. Porter, said the elder man. Sir, said Toby, take care of that daughter of yours. She is much too handsome. Even her good looks are stolen from somebody or other, I suppose, thought Toby, looking at the 6 pence in his hand and thinking of the tribe. She's been and robbed 500 ladies of bloom apiece. I shouldn't wonder. It's very dreadful. She's much too handsome, my man, repeated the elder man. The chances are that she'll come to no good, I clearly see. Observe what I say. Take care of her. With which he hurried off again. Wrong every way, said Trotty, clasping his hands. Born bad. No business here. The chimes came clashing in upon him as he said the words, full, loud, and sounding, but with no encouragement, no, not a drop. The tune's changed, cried the old man as he listened. There's not a word of all that fancy in it. Why should there be? I have no business with the new year, nor with the old one neither. Let me die. Still the bells, pealing forth their changes, made the very air spin. Put them down, put them down. Good old times, good old times. Facts and figures, put them down, put them down. If they said anything, they said this, until the brain of Toby reeled. He pressed his bewildered head between his hands, as if to keep it from splitting asunder. A well-timed action, as it happened, for finding the letter in one of them, and being by that means reminded of his charge, he fell mechanically into his usual trot and trotted off. Chapter 2, the second quarter. The letter Toby had received from Alderman Cute was addressed to a great man in the great district of the town, the greatest district of the town. It must have been the greatest district of the town because it was commonly called the world by its inhabitants. The letter positively seemed heavier in Toby's hand than another letter. not because the elder man had sealed it with a very large coat of arms and no end of wax, but because of the weighty name on the superscription and the ponderous amount of gold and silver with which it was associated. How different from us, thought Toby, in all simplicity and earnestness, as he looked at the direction. Divide the lively turtles in the bills of mortality. By the number of gentlefolks able to buy them, and whose share does he take but his own? As to snatching tripe from anybody's mouth, he would scorn it. With the involuntary homage due to such an exalted character, Toby interposed a corner of his apron between the letter and his fingers. His children, said Trotty, and a mind rose before his eyes. His daughters, gentlemen may win their hearts and marry them. They may be happy wives and mothers. They may be handsome like my darling Meg. He couldn't finish the name. The final letter swelled in his throat to the size of the whole alphabet. Never mind, thought Trotty, I know what I mean. That's more than enough for me. And with this consolatory rumination, trotted on. It was a hard frost that day. The air was bracing, crisp and clear. The wintry sun, though powerless for warmth, looked brightly down upon the ice. It was too weak to melt, and set a radiant glory there. At other times, Trotty might have learned a poor man's lesson from the wintry sun, but he was past that now. The ear was old that day. The patient ear had lived through the reproaches and misuses of its slanderers, and faithfully performed its work. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. It had labored through the destined round, and now laid down its weary head to die. Shut out from hope, high impulse, active happiness itself, but active messenger of many joys to others, it made appeal in its decline to have its toiling days and patient hours remembered, and to die in peace. Trotty might have read a poor man's allegory in the fading year, but he was past that now. And only he? Or has the like appeal been ever made by 70 years at once upon an English labourer's head, and made in vain? The streets were full of motion, and the shops were decked out gaily. The new year, like an infant heir to the whole world, was waited for, with welcomes, presents, and rejoicings. There were books and toys for the new year, glittering trinkets for the new year, dresses for the new year, schemes of fortune for the new year, new inventions to beguile it. Its life was parceled out in almanacs and pocketbooks. The coming of its moons and stars and tides was known beforehand to the moment. All the workings of its seasons in their days and nights were calculated with as much precision as Mr. Filer could work sums in men and women. The new year, everywhere the new year, the old year was already looked upon as dead, and its effects were selling cheap, like some drowned mariners aboard ship. Its patterns were last year's, and going at a sacrifice before its breath was gone. Its treasures were mere dirt beside the riches of its unborn successor. Trotty had no portion to his thinking in the new year or the old. Put them down, facts and figures, good old times, put them down. His trot went to that measure and would fit itself to nothing else. But even that one, melancholy as it was, brought him in due time to the end of his journey. to the mansion of Sir Joseph Bowley, Member of Parliament. The door was opened by a porter, such a porter, not of Toby's order, quite another thing. His place was the ticket though, not Toby's. This porter underwent some hard panting before he could speak, having breathed himself by coming incautiously out of his chair, without first taking time to think about it and compose his mind. When he had found his voice, which it took him a long time to do, for it was a long way off and hidden under a load of meat, he said in a fat whisper, "Who is it from?" Toby told him. "You ought to take it in yourself," said the porter, pointing to a room at the end of a long passage opening from the hall. "Everything goes straight in on this day of the year. You're not a bit too soon, for the carriage is at the door now, and they have only come to town for a couple of hours of purpose." Toby wiped his feet, which were quite dry already, with great care, took the way pointed out to him, observing as he went that it was an awfully grand house, but hushed and covered up, as if the family were in the country. Knocking at the room door, he was told to enter from within. Doing so, found himself in a spacious library, where at a table strewn with files and papers were a stately lady in a bonnet, and not a very stately gentleman in black, who wrote from her dictation, while another, in an older and a much statelier gentleman, whose hat and cane were on the table, walked up and down with one hand in his breast, looked complacently from time to time at his own picture, a very full length, hanging over the fireplace. "What is this?" said the last named gentleman. "Mr. Fish, will you have the goodness to attend?" Mr. Fish begged pardon, taking the letter from Toby, handed it with great respect. "From Alderman Cute, Sir Joseph. Is this all? Have you nothing else, porter?" inquired Sir Joseph. Toby replied in the negative. "You have no bill or demand upon me? My name is Bowley, Sir Joseph Bowley. Any kind from anybody, have you?" said Sir Joseph. "If you have, present it. There is a checkbook by the side of Mr. Fish. I allow nothing to be carried into the new year. Every description of account is settled in this house at the close of the old one. So if death was to cut," suggested Mr. Fish. "Too severe, sir," said Sir Joseph with great asperity, "the cord of existence. My affairs would be found, I hope, in a state of preparation." "My dear Sir Joseph," said the lady, who was greatly younger than the gentleman, "how shocking!" "My Lady Bowley," returned Sir Joseph, floundering now and then, as in the great depth of his observations. "At this season of the year, we should think of ourselves. We should look into our accounts. We should feel that every return of so eventful a period in human transactions involves some matter of deep moment between a man and his banker." Sir Joseph delivered these words as if he felt the full morality of what he was saying, and desired that even Trotty should have an opportunity of being improved by such discourse. Possibly he had this end before him, and still forbearing to break the seal of the letter, and in telling Trotty to wait where he was a minute. "You were desiring Mr. Fish to say, my lady," observed Sir Joseph. "Mr. Fish has said that, I believe," returned his lady, glancing at the letter. "But upon my word, Sir Joseph, I don't think I can let it go after all. It is so very dear." "What is dear?" inquired Sir Joseph. "That charity, my love. He only allowed 2 votes for a subscription of £5. Really monstrous. My lady Bowley, returned Sir Joseph, you surprise me. Is the luxury of feeling in proportion to the number of votes? Or is it to a rightly constituted mind in proportion to the number of applicants and the wholesome state of mind to which their canvassing reduces them? Is there no excitement of the purest kind in having two votes to dispose of among 50 people? Not to me, I acknowledge, replied the lady. It bores one. Besides, one can't oblige one's acquaintance. But you are the poor man's friend, you know, Sir Joseph. You think otherwise. I am the poor man's friend, observed Sir Joseph, glancing at the poor man present. As such I may be taunted, as such I have been taunted. But I asked no other title. Bless him for a noble gentleman, thought Trotty. I don't agree with cute here, for instance, said Sir Joseph, holding out the letter. I don't agree with the filer party. I don't agree with any party. My friend the poor man has no business with anything of that sort, and nothing of that sort has any business with him. My friend the poor man in my district is my business. No man or body of men has any right to interfere between my friend and me. That is the ground I take. I assume a paternal character towards my friend. I say, my good fellow, I will treat you paternally. Toby listened with great gravity and began to feel more comfortable. Your only business, my good fellow, pursued Sir Joseph, looking abstractedly at Toby, your only business in life is with me. You needn't trouble yourself to think about anything. I will think for you. I know what is good for you. I am your perpetual parent. Such is the dispensation of an all-wise providence. Now the design of your creation is not that you should swill and guzzle and associate your enjoyments brutally with food. Toby thought remorsefully of the tribe, but that you should feel the dignity of labor. Go forth, erect into the cheerful morning air, and stop there. Live hard and temperately, be respectful, exercise your self-denial, bring up your family on next to nothing, pay your rent as regularly as the clock strikes, be punctual in your dealings. I set you a good example. You will find Mr. Fish, my confidential secretary, the cash box before him at all times. And you may trust to me to be your friend and father.